Hello, friends. Welcome in. StatATL here. It is 8 o'clock on December 1st. We have finally reached the start of playoff best ball season. And so today we're going to take a first look at Underdog's way too early wild card the contest. So let me share the screen. And we'll kind of talk through what that looks like. So I've got the contest pulled up. This is a contest that is almost 60% filled already. It is a playoff best ball contest. For those of you not familiar with playoff best ball, we are candidly probably, as the contest is named, we are probably way too early to be drafting this, but that hasn't stopped me from entering a few teams already. Playoff best ball has been something that I've had a lot of success with over the past couple of years. Have won different contests on Underdog and drafters in the playoff format. Back in, I guess, 22 and 23, and then last year had 3 teams in the finals of the different mitten contests. I think I had one in the finals of a gauntlet, but didn't end up at the top. So it's a contest that I feel like there's a pretty straightforward strategy and approach, and happy to kind of fire up some drafts today. Kind of talk through some strategy, what I'm thinking. Things of that nature. Little Big Neck, appreciate you hopping in and joining today. Go Collect, always a pleasure to have you tuned in and watching along. Appreciate that. For those of you catching this afterwards, I have decided to kind of fire back up this channel, kind of my YouTube channel, which I did some playoff content last year or the year before, and kind of been non-existent with it until now. So we're going to fire it back up and kind of start producing some best ball strategy and do some live drafts probably once or twice a week, kind of with today being the maiden voyage. So as we look into this way too early contest, we see it's a 45,000 entrant contest, 200K in prizes, with 25K to first, so 12.5% of the prize pool to first. That's not too bad. As we see, one of the things that I always find to be really important when you're entering these contests, and so opposite of drafters, where drafters is a cumulative scoring contest and the strategy is completely different. Underdog is, and similar to DraftKings, are round advancements. So one of the things that I always think is key to look at in any contest that you're considering is what the round advancement looks like, because that should determine how you are drafting and building these types of teams. As we see here, round advancement 2 of 6. So you will do a snake draft with six folks. The top 2 scores out of those 6 advance to out of the first round. And then as you see, it is a 1 out of 10 in the second round, 1 out of 10 in the conference finals, and then 150 seat kind of final. If we're looking at the prize structure here, basically getting out of the first round gets you $5. And then getting out of the second round gets you $10, with basically all the money being in the final round, where it is, basically $200 is the minimum payment, where all of the money here is up top to probably the top, let's say the top 50 rosters are $500 or more on your $5 investment. So with that in mind, with all of these contests being so top heavy, I am of the opinion that while you do want to try to advance teams, and advancing teams is important, you need to be drafting and building for conference finals and the Super Bowl. Spreading out your players across Strategy, with the caveat, unless you are trying to build with 2 1 seeds, because the 1 seeds will have the bye in the first round of the playoffs. And just kind of giving a little bit more of your roster composition, you are drafting 10 players and having to start 5 every week. So the goal generally is to build at least a roster that can get 5 players to the Super Bowl. I think occasionally you could get away with 4 players in the Super Bowl and be live to win if it is the 2 1 seeds, just because of how hard it is to advance those teams. I generally like to try to build teams with those 2 1 seeds, which obviously right now with this contest being way too early, have no idea what the seedings will be, have no idea who will, even be in the playoffs. If we take a look at current standings, the Bears right now in the NFC are 9-3. They are the 1 seed. The 7 seed is the San Francisco 49ers. They are 9-4. So the 1 seed and the 7 seed all have 9 wins. Whereas in the AFC, you've got the Bills, Colts, and Chargers all kind of rounding out that 5, 6, 7 spot with 8-4 records. So I think there's a lot of fluidity of who could make the playoffs, and I think if you're drafting some of these way too early teams, this is when you want to continue taking or consider taking shots on some teams that are maybe on the bubble. For example, the Chiefs, for example, the Ravens, for example, like the Lions, not in the playoffs. But if they do get into the playoffs, the prices to draft those players are going to go up significantly higher. Will be significantly harder to build those type of teams. So let's hop in and do a draft. So just hit enter. Let me see active drafts. Okay. Let's set up this screen. When I was doing this a lot last year, I think a lot of people really liked this view. That is not what I want. So I am going to duplicate. Yeah, you guys are doing a great job of bearing with me as I do this for the first time this year. So anyone in the chat, if anyone has any questions. Oh, I wonder if it's not going to allow me to do that. I'll only share my screen differently here. I think that should be better. Perfect. All right, so we drew the 3-hole here. And I've got the board out here on the left, and then the room out here on the right. So I think that will kind of help folks be able to follow along. kind of talk through. So in general, for me, we see Puka Nakua go first. In general, for me, I feel like I'm trying to concentrate on generally 2 to 3 teams, really trying to build for the Super Bowl. And we're going to start with Jackson Smith-Njigba. Currently the 5 seed in the NFC with the same record of 9-3 as both the Bears and the Rams, who are first and second. So I feel like, personally, I think that Jackson Smith-Njigba is an underrated. I feel like Seattle in general just is disrespected in these type of drafts. I think their likelihood of being the 1 seed is reasonably high. Probably 95% or so to make the playoffs at this point. And so I like leaning in to Seattle. Gives you the possibility or the ability to kind of bet on stronger teams in the AFC or some more bubble teams that people aren't quite willing to take shots on. So that's generally where I like to gravitate towards as we're building some of these teams. So the 6 seed OCD goes Barkley Hurts for a pairing of the Eagles. The 5 seed Michael Hodgson goes Kyron Devontae Adams. And so Boss Hog here has a possibility he decides to kind of pair up with San Francisco. And so for me here, I think I don't mind grabbing Buffalo here. I don't mind grabbing James Cook. Have the ability to much later in a draft grab here, Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid to give myself some Super Bowl options to kind of pair along with Seattle. So on the clock again here. Again, so this is, I think I'm going to come grab RJ Harvey here and try to build out multiple options for a Broncos and Bills as my AFC teams to go along with Seattle as my NFC team. So again, unless you're trying to build with 2 1 seeds, which again, we're so early in the offseason, it's so hard to know where we will end in terms of seeding and things like that. So you could try to make some educated guesses in terms of where teams will land. But for me, in general here, I'm just trying to consolidate most of my building around 3 teams on these drafts. And generally, as we get further into it and you get more information about seedings and things like that, there's a completely different strategy that we'll discuss on a future pod. But for here, we're just kind of ripping some drafts. 6 seed is basically loaded up, or 6th hole is basically loaded up on 4 straight Eagles. The 5 hole, it's got a nice Rams start. Going to try to fill that out with New England. 4 hole here's kind of got a little bit 3 different teams. See where he goes here for some direction. Plays through Baltimore. I think the decision here is, do I grab Dalton Kincaid, who I don't know that I need. I'm going to grab Bo Nix here, or do I grab Kenneth? No, I'm going to go Bo Nix. I'm going to grab Bo Nix here because I feel like with Kenneth Walker, I'd love to get Kenneth Walker, but if he does get sniped in front of me, I'm happy to grab Zach Charbonnet. Offers similar kind of upside there. I'll probably wait on Seattle. And same thinking with Kincaid. There are later options for Buffalo that I'm just as happy to kind of happy to fill through the roster. So I'll grab Cortland Sutton here, continue to build out the Broncos. One hole looks like he's going to go New England, Tampa Bay, with probably fill in a Blake Corum, Colby Parkinson late out of that one hole. 2 hole east of Eden's got Buffalo, Stacks are kind of competing for similar, and then he's probably going to go Detroit and Green Bay. Again, kind of leaning into this being early, with Detroit potentially making the playoffs. Those pieces will go a lot later. 6 hole here is gone 5 straight Eagles, coming in with Rashee Rice. Probably try to build through Kansas City. Don't mind that. So we'll probably grab Kenneth Walker here. Yeah, two hole does kind of build again with Detroit. Would probably expect him to probably grab maybe Christian Watson here at 7.2 for Ethan. I always try to kind of think through what I think my opponents are going to do. I would expect this to be maybe Hunter Henry, Keyshawn Butte here. Maybe it's Blake Corum for the one hole. That's what would make sense. Ramondre Stevenson, yeah, same. Christian Watson, kind of as expected. I think I'll continue to play this through and grab Sam Darnold here. And then probably grab a couple of Buffalo pieces and we're going to grab Shaver, Keon Coleman, Gabe Davis. These are all guys worth considering. Kind of go through with some of the other Seahawks, Shaheed, AJ Barner, and Broncos, Pat Bryant. Just kind of go from there. Generally try to end with a 2-3-5 or 2-2-6 in terms of construction. You could certainly consider just one quarterback. I generally prefer to kind of lean in a little bit more. I prefer to lean in a little bit more with quarterback and grab 2. You could certainly get 1. Obviously, if it ends up being a quarterback that's on bye in the first round, one of the 2 1 seeds, that team is dead before the tournament even starts. So, kind of one thing to kind of keep in mind with that. So probably going to go, I've got JSN, Darnold, Walker. So my team that only has my only NFC team here will be Seattle. I'll probably want to have 4 Seattle pieces to go along with 3 Buffalo pieces, or 2 Buffalo pieces and 4 Denver pieces. That's generally how I like to go, either 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. Trying to set yourself up for a lot of options in the Super Bowl if those teams are to advance. And again, as we talked about, that's where all the money is in the Super Bowl. So, to me, that's generally how I try to focus my team building. So I'll take Shaheed or Varner here for my 3rd or 4th Seattle pick. All right, let's fire up one more, and then we'll call the stream. That is much better. A little slow to load, but it's getting there. All right, we drew the 2-hole this time. Again, same kind of thought process here as we continue to draft. Looking for correlation, trying to think through. I like to, I don't think I can share another screen, but I like to, actually I can probably pull one over. I like to have the current playoff seedings open on another window. I think that it really helps when drafting to kind of make sure that as you're building, you are setting yourself up for success. So let's start off. Let's go Saquon Barkley here. We started JSN last time. Let's try an Eagles build on this particular draft and see how that goes. Drake May in the first round, I think, is probably a mistake. I don't know that you need to do that. He's almost always available in the second round, most of the time available in the third. So I think pulling up somebody like Drake May, probably a mistake in these types of drafts. I think Brendan or Brandini's intention is to try to dissuade people from taking Patriots, and he may start with 3 or 4 straight Patriots. The Patriots for me are just a team I don't feel like you need to do that with. You've got Hunter Henry, you've got Kayshon Boutte, you've got Ramondre Stevenson, all that typically go 6th, 7th round or later, all of those guys. So I feel like New England is a team that you can kind of pull up. You can kind of wait on New England as a secondary stack or even to build out what ends up being like your primary. I mean, you could take Drake May in the 3rd or 4th round, most drafts, and then wait on New England and still get strong pieces because, Stephon Diggs is typically the first drafted Patriot wide receiver. He's not even the guy who's on the field most of the time. It's Boutte and Mac Hollins that play the most snaps of wide receiver. He's just more the big name. So he does go May Henderson. So for me here, I think it's interesting. I think it is I'm going to go grab James Cook here, just because I think it's unlikely that this 1 seed decides to build around the Eagles once he's already taken Puka Nacua in the first round. I could be wrong. But I don't know that I would personally do that. And even if he goes first, AJ Brown could still very easily grab. So the question here is, do I take Jalen Hurts and risk none of the wide receivers coming back to me? I probably won't do that. I'll probably take AJ Brown here and try to push Jalen Hurts to the 4th round. Typically, a guy who is going generally in the early to mid 2nd round, Jalen Hurts. Sometimes you even see him go in the 1st round. And to try to push him to the 4th round. Again, just saying, okay, so that's a huge mistake. But that's, never mind. We get excited when people make mistakes. So for me here, this is a decently strong build. Certainly, I could add Dallas Goedert here in the 5th round. Have a strong Philly pairing. Probably need to grab. I guess I could roll Dallas Goedert's not going to make it back to me here at 6'5". So if I want to go Dallas Goedert, I do need to do that. The question is, do I grab Bo Nix first? I think I grab Bo Nix first, just because RJ Harvey doesn't have a ton of value if I've already got Barkley and James Cook. I would likely, if this is a Denver-Philly matchup, Barkley more likely to be the running back that I play anyway. So I think here the play is to take Dallas Goedert, have 3 Philly pieces, probably be done there in the 6th, 7th round. In the 6th or 7th turn for me, probably one of Troy Franklin or Cortland Sutton. I mean, it would be awesome if both were available. I think that's unlikely, but possible. And then later probably try to grab, another Buffalo piece later in the draft. I mean, I'm not expecting Shakir to be there or Kincaid, but that would, if one of Cortland Sutton, if one of those guys is gone, I would probably grab a Buffalo piece here as well for the correlation to try to give me kind of 3 teams that potentially could meet in the AFC NFC championship games. So this is probably going to be Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin for me here. Assuming I don't get sniped here. If I do get sniped, I'll take Dalton Kincaid. But with Barkley and Cook, I don't know that I need to take another running back. It was fine to see RJ Harvey go. Again, likely playing through these running backs if Philly and Buffalo are to continue to advance, which is what this roster is betting on. So probably a spot where I'll be fine to only end up with two running backs. This may be a spot where I do take a one-off quarterback since I can't take Hurts or Josh Allen on this build. This is a build where maybe Jaleel McLaughlin becomes interesting potentially late as a Super Bowl matchup. Obviously, Pat Bryant, Evan Ingram, interesting late as this is a Denver Bo Nix stack running back. Not as important just because this build is assuming it's the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and having Barkley means I don't really need a Denver running back. I could certainly grab one with Jaleel McLaughlin, Bidet, Badet, Baggett, whatever the running back, the third string running back is, pass catching guy for Denver. I think it's Bidet. If you're watching along and have questions or feedback, throw some into the chat. BG Little Neck, it's nice to have you tuning in. Go Collect, thanks for your support as always. So again, kind of an interesting decision. I think this is probably Dalton Kincaid here. I don't know that I'll take another. I don't know that I'll take another Buffalo piece. Just because they don't have a ton of value. To me, this is probably grabbing another Denver piece and then a second quarterback, probably obviously it has to be uncorrelated. Probably grab another quarterback. Let's see who is likely to, if there's anyone likely to go. I think with him having RJ Harvey, I'll probably want to have my let's go Pat Bryant. Let's take Pat Bryant here. And then I'll probably just consider quarterback. I think at this point I'm looking just to kind of supplement In case it's Denver who gets the 1 seed. Obviously, if it's Denver and Philly that get the 1 seed, like this roster is dead. But again, this is a way too early contest. So, you're kind of drafting without seeds, just kind of making the best of it. But if it is Denver that gets the bye, I'm only going to have 6 players. Between Barkley and James Cook, very likely to get usable scores out of there. And then I'm hoping to get, a score out of a wide receiver score out of either A.J. Brown, Goddard, or Kincaid. Try to get 2 decent usable scores out of them, and then we need a quarterback. So to me, this is probably a spot where I'm going to take like a Brock Purdy, a Caleb Williams, a Justin Herbert. I'm going to probably grab Brock Purdy. I think of the remaining, he's the team with the likeliest chance to make the playoffs, even though he's completely uncorrelated here. All right, let's do one more, and then we will call it a stream. If we get any questions, I'll take those feeds. So let's go to the active drafts, and this one is 3 of 6. So when it fills, we'll populate it. I think playoff best ball there is such a huge edge in it, just because so many people don't think through any of the strategy, and it just makes it so interesting to me that you would have so many people that don't follow and realize what they're doing. I think you see people drafting teams over and over, and that's just that last draft we saw people drafting the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys are 6-5-1. They're, according to ESPN or NFL.com, like, their playoff odds are only 16%. They are 6-5-1. The 49ers, who are the 7th seed, are 9-4. They're essentially 3 games back. Obviously, they are in the same division as the Eagles, who are 8-4. So they're 2 games back in that division. To me, you just see people taking players from teams that have just such a low likelihood of making the playoffs. I just think it's a mistake. I've seen people take Joe Burrow, which, again, like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, like, those guys are theoretically live. But according to NFL.com, they are, they're 2% to make the playoffs. So it's always interesting to me when people are taking those shots. Like, I get it. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking some shots on goal, on some of these cheaper pieces, but at least make them be pieces that have a chance to actually make the playoffs. I think the Chiefs are an intriguing team. Right now their playoff odds are 30 to 40%. But again, these are guys who are going really late in the draft. So your draft capital is pretty low. If they are to sneak in as the 7th seed, like, their draft capital is going to be a lot higher. So I could see shots on that. It's just harder for me to get behind than guys, than teams that are sub 20% that people are drafting. So in this room here, we drew the 6th seed, so we're out right on the turn. And for me, generally, I don't like to try to have a strategy ahead of time. I like to just kind of see where the room falls. I don't mind going Kyren Devontae at the 1-2 turn if both of them are there. I think if one of them gets taken, Puka Nacua almost always goes first in all these drafts that I've seen so far, and we're still way too early. But like with Devontae Adams there going third, like I would never consider Kyren Williams on his own, unless you're trying to build, later into the draft season, unless you're trying to build, two first place, 2 1 seed builds. In general, I think you're just giving away too much equity there to do that. I think we're going to try Eagles again. And the reason why, for me, that I don't like going Barkley Hurts is because if both wide receivers get taken, Hurts is kind of a dead quarterback without his key wide receivers, in my opinion. Whereas if somebody does decide to draft Hurts and then Devonta Smith, like I'm fine with, which is probably what Pete is going to do here. Like I'm fine with these 2 core pieces, or if you go Barkley, Devonta Smith, or if you've got AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, like to me that's strong enough to be your Super Bowl matchup on one side. And to me, it's tougher to have your Super Bowl quarterback be, like Matt Stafford with only Kyren Williams, for example, or Hurts with only Saquon Barkley. For that to be optimal, it's possible, but I feel like it's way less likely than one of the pass catchers paired with him. So here we've kind of painted ourselves into a corner a little bit, because I probably want a quarterback. I would have gone Henry here with Lamar. I'm gonna grab Bo Nix here. We're gonna kind of go the similar way that we built the last draft, and with a Denver stack, clearly not on purpose, but just again, that's what the room falls to you as. And again, I think one of the things to kind of think through is, it would be great to build with New England here, but with Drake May already gone and Jalen Hurts already gone, the options are kind of limited on where I can go there. So we'll kind of see how this room falls. Maybe this becomes a Denver build with some, maybe I go 4 Broncos, 4 Chargers as a team that tends to fall, or 3 or 4 Jaguars. Again, that's a low likelihood, but again, Jaguars are probably 80-85% to make the playoffs. A team that basically goes completely undrafted in a lot of these drafts. So again, we'll see what the board falls to me. I did consider Devonta Smith here. I wasn't sure I wanted to go that route with then potentially taking just Bo Nix and having none of those pieces fall to me, like having to wait until the 5-6 turn for that. It's just a little thin because I really needed to secure an AFC quarterback and build, or else this team is probably too thin. Unless you're deciding to build around a later stack, like the Jaguars, like the Chargers, or teams that don't typically get drafted. Amazingly, Devonta Smith made it back to me. I think the interesting question here is, do I go full Eagles? And I think I'm going to do that. Goddard is an interesting piece here. And I think I want to go Troy Franklin. I think I lean into this a little bit more. And if Goddard happens to be here at the 7-8 turn, I would consider Goddard if he's still on the board at that point. I don't know that it's worth prioritizing. And then I think with the rest of these picks, I'll probably go lean into a full other team with at least 3 of these picks. So of who's on the board, again, I need it to be a team that has a running back that I could build through. Again, because I don't have a running back with Denver, so just kind of a key thing to think through. Chicago's now off the. Mononga's gone too, so Chicago's kind of off the table. Probably means. I'd rather not say, because I think there's really only one option left of higher likelihood teams to make the play. I guess the Jags. It's probably got to be the Jaguars or the Chargers. Just kind of this final couple pieces on this build. I need to secure a running back. If I go with an NFC team, it needs to have a running back. Do you guys have any other best ball related questions? Please throw them in the chat. If not, we will probably wrap up this stream here in 5-10 minutes with this being the final draft, and then we'll plan to draft again, schedule a show again to talk more strategy, rip a couple more drafts next week. So I think the question, I could go Bucky Irving here, but I'm going to go Marion Hampton and build through the Chargers, just because there's a team that doesn't typically get drafted a lot. And again, I probably don't need to go early on it, but I'm going to, just to kind of secure it. There's a bunch of pass catching options on the Chargers, whether it's Ladd McConkey, whether it's Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, Oronde Gadsden, a lot of ways that I could build out this roster. I'll probably grab just one more Charger. So let's say that's Ladd. Make it easier on me. Well, let's say that's Ladd or QJ or Gadsden, one of those. And then probably grab one more Bronco. Probably Evan Ingram, Pat Bryant. Could consider Jaleel McLaughlin, but probably not, because again, my only NFC team is the Eagles, and Barkley is just a stronger option. So try to land this as a 4-3-3 with Denver, LA Chargers, and the Eagles. So we'll take Gadsden here, and then we'll take Evan Ingram. And we are all set with a 4 Denver, 3 Philly, 3 LA Chargers build. And I think that's going to do it for us today, guys. We've been going about 45 minutes. Not a ton more strategy to talk through. I know we hit on a lot of that first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the stream. But with so much up in the air with seedings, with even just teams in general who are going to make the playoffs, it's just so much up in the air. So appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the questions that we got, and look forward to catching you guys all next week. And have a great night.